What's up, guys? Pass here, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes commentary video, and today we are covering Dark Side territory battles. So that started today. I jumped in right at the start and figured, well, let's donate some troops. As you can see, that there already were several people in my guild jumping in to donate troops at freaking 4 minutes into the thing starting. So I have a very active guild, that is something to be said. And let's just put it this way, there aren't a whole lot of dark side units in the game to begin with compared to light side units, but you still need 15 platoons to field, and a good number of those are Empire. You don't see a whole lot of the not very commonly used characters in here. I mean, you do see the Genosians, but they're only in there like on one platoon, maybe two. I don't know. But at any rate, yeah. So I went through and donated some troops that I figured I could spare because, you know, team player and all. And it didn't really pan out the way I was hoping. I'm really glad, because I was on the cusp of donating like my TIE fighter pilot. I really almost donated him, and I actually really almost donated my Director Krennic, because he's only gear 9, and I figured, well, I could probably spare him. But then I decided, you know, I haven't done any of these battles, and I probably ought to do those before I go and donate the characters that I'm pretty confident I'll end up using. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to use my First Order, but I still wasn't really sure I wanted to donate my First Order TIE pilot, because, let's face it, he's great DPS on a lot of different squads. So first off, of course, I followed the typical order of conducting missions, and I went straight for the special mission first. Went with Darth Vader lead because I couldn't really use anything else, right? And this is where I decided to just throw in, well, I didn't want to go all out. I didn't want to throw in Thrawn from the get-go, but I threw in Emperor Palpatine because he's great with Darth Vader. Shore Trooper because I wanted to use a tank, and I wanted to use a tank that I was fairly confident would be able to handle the pressure. Not that Royal Guard couldn't, but I wanted a taunting tank. And then I threw in my Director Krennic and Death Trooper combo because they're one of my favorite Imperial combos, Imperial duos in the game. So obviously you're facing Phoenix. A lot of people were not expecting the level of difficulty that they encountered, and that is my very first order of critique here, that this game mode really doesn't appear to have been play tested in any way, shape, or form. And I honestly feel like maybe it was rushed out the door to meet some kind of a deadline. I don't know for sure, because the devs were very quiet on this. They didn't tell any of the game changers that this was happening until Monday night, that Darkside Territory Battles was rolling out. It was a bit of a surprise to us, just the same as it was a surprise to all of you, I'm sure, when you got all of those patch notes and saw all of our videos come out on Tuesday, that all of this was going to happen today on Thanksgiving. And I feel like this was just an extension of an open beta. As a lot of people were mentioning, the last wave in a lot of these battles seemed almost like it was Phase 6 tier difficulty. That a picture has actually been circulating the internet, which I believe was created as a joke, but many people are taking it as, I don't know if they're just kind of sharing it with to express their distaste and their displeasure with basically seeing Wave 3 being relatively easy, honestly, and then all of a sudden getting smacked in the face with 5 or 6 elites that, quite frankly, almost wiped 2 of my higher tier squads and completely wiped one of my squads. I figured, that I could use my droids on the first combat mission, which I should have just gone all out on my first combat mission and, thrown in a squad that I knew could clear all 4 waves. But instead, I was dumb and I thought, oh, well, I'll just throw in droids. Droids are good. But I made the fatal error of donating my B2 Super Battle Droid to a platoon, so I didn't have a Dispeller. I donated my IG-88, which quite frankly wouldn't have fared very well anyway, because I think he's either Gear 7 or Gear 8, maybe Gear 8. And so I decided, well, who else can I throw into this squad? I mean, I don't want to burn all of my really good characters that have good synergy on one node. So I've got 3 good that have synergy, so why not go with Tusken Shaman and, I don't know, how about Royal Guard? Because, they're both Gear 10, they should be fine. Gear 7, this is only Phase 1, right? Only Phase 1. So, started off great. I thought, wow, this is going really well since, first wave went down with, 0 effort whatsoever, and wave 2, I mean, holy moly, what's going on here? We're all dying so fast. 5,000? Oh my gosh, so easy. This is gonna be cake. I can practically put this on auto, right? I mean, come on, we're 2 halfway there, and wave 3, oh, they got protection, but wow, that was quick. They died fast, so, okay. Give everybody offense up. Boom! Wow, okay. This should be a cakewalk. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'll look at the types of these characters later and then figure out how to beat them after this battle. Holy moly, this is so easy. Right? Wrong. So, this was a problem. I got into this when I was like, okay, I have 4 elites, 2 non-elites, and these guys have just a little bit more health and protection than that last wave. And by a little, I mean a lot. It was pretty evident that something wasn't right. Either the balance was completely off, or something else was wrong, because Royal Guard literally got 4-shot there. It was ridiculous. And then once my squad started just dropping like flies here, I realized very quickly that Wave 4 was no joke, and I seriously needed to read up on what these characters' abilities and everything else were, because obviously a kill order video is going to be required for this. Similar to the style of kill order video that I created for light side territory battles, I will be digging into all of these characters' kits and attempting to figure out the biggest threats in each of all of them. Kind of the same way that the Snowtrooper Ops is generally the biggest threat, because he will debuff or strip the buffs off of all of your light side characters. In light side territory battles, I need to dig into the numbers, maybe not necessarily the numbers, but dig into the kits of all of the dark side territory battle enemies and really figure out, okay, who needs to die first. And so I have that information. I will be digging into it for you guys. I will hopefully have a dark side territory battle kill order video out. I will be talking to my guild mates, talking to my shard mates, and trying to come up with a no joke answer for you guys, because we need to know who the biggest threat is on these of these squads. My initial impression is maybe the Rebel pilot, because of the synergy, but I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, Daze is going to be a humongous help in this in Darkside territory battles, but unfortunately, without the Wampa, there aren't any significant Daze dishing Darkside characters aside from Darth Maul, and let's face it, you can't use Darth Maul on every single phase. So reducing turn meter is going to be hard because you're going to have to make sure that you've got Palpatine and Maul on different squads, because you have to be able to restrict that turn meter gain. You also have Count Dooku with his lightning ability that can inflict shock, so that is another source of shock, but unfortunately it's just not as reliable because it's on a special that has like a 3-turn cooldown, so not going to be able to get that off every turn, so you have to use it very sparingly and judiciously. The only nice thing about Darth Maul is that he can get a lot of turn meter gain from killing with his basic, so he does have that ability to refresh the cooldown on his AoE in a somewhat quick fashion in that regard. Otherwise, the only thing that you're really going to be able to do to keep these guys from just overpowering you right from the get-go is healing immunity. Healing immunity is going to be incredibly important. As you can see, that battle went much better because I was able to control the turn meter gain and control the healing with healing immunity and daze. So Sith are going to be a very strong squad in Darkside territory battles. I know that Sith isn't required for, the general this or that or the other, but I see it as kind of the resistance of the Darkside territory battles, where it is a squad that a lot of people will generally have at least 2 or 3 characters of that faction, the Sith faction, that they can rely on and put into that squad. Darth Maul Zeta does not necessarily need to be on your list of Zetas. There are a number of options there. You can even use a Darth Sidious Omega leader ability, which increases crit chance, crit damage, and gives all Sith allies a stacking offense buff every time they crit. So don't be afraid to just use your Darth Sidious lead with your Sith and make that sing for you. This squad was kind of just my odd job ragtag team of misfit toys, I guess you could call it. I figured, Tarkin, he's got a pretty strong AoE, plus he's pretty tanky when he's got that, when he has that potency stacked, and since it's a long encounter, or a long engagement, he should be stacking up that potency from using his basic. But at any rate, and then I decided, hey, let's give Asajj a chance, since her unique stacks offense and crit chance and everything else every time something dies. But unfortunately, I really didn't see a whole lot of extra damage coming out of Asajj with her basic, especially. I figured, shouldn't she be doing more damage? I mean, look, her AoE only did 10,000 damage after she's been through 3 waves of enemies. What's going on here? So I was a little disappointed with the lack of damage output from Asajj. I mean, let's see here. Well, that was a non-crit, so you couldn't really tell. Plus, I mean, she's got Boba Fett lead, so she's got that extra crit damage buff. So really, I don't know what is going on with Asajj unique, if it resets every wave or what, because if it does, then Asajj's rework is even worse than I originally thought it was, because she should not be hitting that pathetically. I mean, I hate to say pathetic, but I mean, come on, let's see here. Oh, 19,000. That was after she killed 4 waves of enemies. That should have been hitting for like 25, 30,000 with all of the offense she should have been stacking. But I digress. I was sorely disappointed in Asajj's performance. However, I have heard from a number of people that a Mother Talzin lead doesn't even need to be Zetaed. A Mother Talzin lead with Night Sisters absolutely decimates Darkside territory battles because of the ability to just constantly revive each other. Now, granted, if you do have Mother Talzin leveled up, geared up, and you actually went out and spent the money to farm her to 7 stars or even 5 or 6 stars, throw a Zeta on her, because she is going. Night Sisters will be a cornerstone squad of Darkside territory battles. Bottom line, guys, I'm pretty disappointed in Darkside territory battles. I'm sure a lot of other people are too. It would have been nice to get a little bit of playtesting to catch these glaring bugs. But at any rate, guys, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord server to continue the conversation, and I will catch you all later.